Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming to you live from my cottage. As your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach, it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from your mental prison and build a life and a business and a career that you are obsessed with, that you love, and that you are proud of. And on Thursdays, I do these weekly live Get Your Shit Together weekly live guidance with myself, Yana Kasperczak, in this Facebook group, which is Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you're listening to this podcast on a different platform, then I invite you to check out the group and see if this is a place that you have been looking for that will help you on your healing and spiritual awakening journey. So, now that the spiel is done, let's talk about the topic for today. And that the topic that I want to talk about is what's blocking your manifesting. What's preventing you from having the things that you want to have, from having the life that you want to have, from enjoying your life in ways that you want. Sorry, I'm not sure if it takes me off screen or how it happens, but regardless. So, most of you already know what it is. It is your mindset. It is your belief system. It is your emotional state, and it is your emotional awareness and emotional intelligence as well. And it's not to say that you're not emotionally aware or intelligent. It's to say that why stop here? You can raise your emotional awareness and you can raise your emotional intelligence even higher than you currently are at. Let me see if I can block the sun a bit more. It's as you can tell, it's a little sunny in here. Half of me's tanning and the other half is not. So it's your mind that is keeping you where you are. And we're not in control of our mind. As much as we would love to say we're all in charge and in control of our mind, we're not, because we are quite easily manipulated and quite easily get reprogrammed with, hearing stories from others, hearing something on TV, becoming aware of something different, and then that becomes ours without us even realizing. We pick up other people's fears, worries, concerns, experiences, and then here we are with this new mindset that can either make us or break us. Hello, Kitty. Kitty says, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you as well. Hopefully it's a nice and sunny one, which is great for the solar system. So we've been enjoying the constant recharge. We've been learning quite a bit about it. Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca, to you as well. How are you doing, beautiful? So, as we're talking about what's blocking your manifestation, and as I said, you guys already know that it's the mind. And the mind is also connected to your emotional state, to your emotional well-being. And this is the biggest thing that I focus on when it comes to helping women get their shit together, because everything is in the mind, and this is where you get to escape your mental prison and just come and visit it once in a while. And that means whenever you're triggered, whenever you're feeling off, whatever you have a negative thought, that is where you go into that mental prison. And the difference is, how long do you stay there? Or do you feel trapped in there or not? And how long do you want to stay there? Because all of us get to go in there and visit, and we get to learn from whatever is coming up for us through thoughts and stories. But more often than not, it will start off as an emotional response to something. And when we're emotionally responding to something, that means we have experienced similar or the same thing more than a couple of times. And this is why now the mind is not even fully present. This is how you know this is the program that's there. And the best way how to see your programming, in my experience and the experience of the women who have gone through this, it is through the Energy Leadership Index Assessment, which I refer to as ELI for short. It's easier than a mouthful of Energy Leadership Index Assessment. That's a whole mouthful. But many of you, if not most of you, have already heard about it. And this is the online assessment that you do online. Obviously, you answer questions. I believe there's 83 or 86 questions that you answer, and it helps you. In the end, you would get a response back that tells you how you are showing up energetically. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, and through level 7. What's your primary level? What does that mean? What does that look like for you? And you would go through the ELI debrief with me. And I've done the ELI myself 3 times now. And I will tell you, each time, even though I've already done it, it feels like a whole different assessment. And the response has been different. You see it as bars. So it's been different. And understanding myself at each and every time I do the ELI has been more eye-opening. Even though I already know the energy levels, I get to see myself physically, and you start to have it's like, when you have, let's say you go to get your brain scanned and you see your brain in front of you, you start to have a relationship with your brain, because now something that's inside of you that you can never see, now you get to see it, and now you can start to have some kind of a relationship with your brain where you start to treat your brain differently. The same thing with the energy. Every time I see this bar for each and every energy level, I see myself energetically, and I can see that growth and evolution of myself. And the great news is that those of you who have already signed up or will be signing up for the quest, the imposter banishing quest, and no, this is probably too early to mention it because we're not starting to really talk about it, but I do what I want. That's how you gotta live life. So it's actually, the ELI is actually going to be included in the imposter banishing quest. It's going to be one of the first things that you do, and then we're going to sit down as a group, and I will do a debrief with everyone in the group for the ELI. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be eye-opening and transformative, as you can imagine. Okay, so here are the ways how you're blocking your flow, how you're blocking your manifestation. We did already talk about it. It's your mindset. But what about that mindset that is blocking you? It is your stories that are limiting, where it's more so like, an example would be, you want to buy a house. Or I'll give you my personal example. We wanted to buy a cottage for many years. And my mindset was preventing me from even taking the steps. It was more so hopeful and wishful thinking that it was going to happen, but I needed to work on my mindset and get it to a place where it is not something that I just believe. It's something that I know I can have. And that's the difference. Because when you believe, your beliefs can be changed and can be manipulated and can be twisted. That's, the beauty, the upside and the downside of the beliefs. Whereas when you know something, no one can change your mind. No one can change the things that you believe. So it's like an unbreakable mindset. No one can tell you that your mom is not your mom, because you know that's your mom, right? No one can tell that the tree is not green or the grass is not green, that the sun is not shining when it's shining, because you know it is, and they can't take that away from you. And when it comes to the belief systems, they're not solid. They're not permanent. They're temporary. So you got to change those belief systems, reprogram your belief systems to a point where you know something. You know this is who you are. You know this is how you are. You know that you're getting that cottage. And once you know, you can't unknow. So it took me, honestly, it's a lifetime. It's a journey of a lifetime to get to this point. But when I really started working on this particular belief that I had, once I recognized that it was just, I believed I could get the cottage, or we could get the cottage, and I hoped we would, and I needed to change it because I was ready to change it to I know we will, and set the date of approximately when it was going to happen. And this process started for me almost a year ago. It started in November, possibly end of October, when I started doing Christmas shopping, and I went into one of these stores. It was Giant Tiger, and they had this sign for "Cottage is my life," or something along those lines. And I bought those signs, and I was really nervous when I was even buying them. It's not the price. They were like $2 for each one, but it was the beginning of changing my belief system and manifesting this cottage. And I started working on my mindset. Every time I was triggered, I didn't run away. I sat down with myself, understanding what was coming up. Why was it so difficult for me to know that it was possible? And the knowing also comes from taking action. So the first action was buying those signs, and I will tell you, I put them away. I knew where they were. They were in my mind constantly, but I put them away into the storage room. And every time I went to the storage room, I knew exactly where they were, and I would always look at them. And this is when I also realized I am now ready, because I didn't want anyone to see them. I didn't want anyone to know, because this was my journey. And it's important to keep certain things that you're working on private. Just mention it to one person who has, I don't want to say that they're not invested into the outcome, in a way, that get this cottage and they don't get anything from that, in a way. I don't know if that makes sense to you, that it's someone who, it's not that they don't care whether you have it or not, is that they know that when the time comes you will, and they will let you go on a journey on your own. So for me, that was a coach. And I kept everything just primarily with myself, and once in a blue moon I would share, but I was never really fully clear and open about it with anyone, because once you start talking about it, you lose power. It's like you lose energy, and you already in a way feel like you've accomplished it. And that's why when it comes to manifesting certain things, and as you're working through them, keep them to yourself. Obviously my husband didn't even know, because as I mentioned, the setting of the date of by when will I achieve this thing, with certain things you want to manifest, that you want to have and you want to acquire, you can't set the date. But in this case, I could. And that was for his birthday. So I would get the qualification, make sure that we're qualified, and then for his birthday I would let him know we're qualified for so and so amount, and let's go start looking. So it was a really shocking surprise, because it was not expected, but I needed to get myself to that point to be ready to do that, to manifest it, because the biggest part of manifesting as well is actually taking action, and not just hoping and working through and wishing that it's going to happen. So what is it that you are hoping to manifest into your life right now? The first thing that comes to mind, let me know what that is. Because once you know what it is that you want to manifest, then you can set up a plan of how you're going to get there. One of the first things that I wanted to manifest was feeling at peace with myself and loving myself and being in control of my emotional state. Okay, that's a powerful, powerful goal, plan, dream, and manifestation that I wanted. Now, how would I get there? Right? And how would I get there is saying yes to those opportunities that spoke to my heart, that I knew were going to help me tap into that person that I'm looking towards becoming. So little by little, everything falls into place. You get a plan of what you're going to do first, second, third. Taking action is a must. And even when it comes to taking action, inspired action is best. So figuring out what you got to do right now to get inspired, re-inspired, and motivated. It doesn't just come just because you want it. We all want to feel motivated and inspired all the time, but we simply can't do that all the time. We can use our tools that work and help us to tap into motivation, tap into inspiration, but there will still be days where those tools won't be as powerful, but then you got to use different ones. Okay, so when I wrote a couple of things down. So feeling is belief. So when you're feeling, you got to change your feelings from believing to knowing. And the first thing that you experience is a feeling, and it's an emotional state. And if you got to make sure that it also aligns with who you are trying to become, or whatever it is that you want to do and have. Because in order for you to have what you want to have, you must become a different person. And in order for us to become cottage owners, I needed to become a cottage owner. And that took on its own life, if you will, its own shape, and it had its own path. It's not the same as having a house. If you have always had dogs and you want to have a cat, you got to become a cat person, right? Before you had kids, you just had you to take care of, and then you had you and your partner to take care of, and now you must become a mother. You don't just you do become a mother once a child is born, but your child is the one that makes you a mother, and then what you do and what kind of a mother you're going to become will be entirely up to you as well. Sometimes you might hear yourself say, I have a focus problem. I can't focus on something for too long. So every time I try to visualize, I can't visualize because I can't focus. My brain goes into a different direction. Sometimes that is the visualization and meditation you can do, where you just follow where your brain takes you. And then come right back where you started, because it helps you to maybe go on these side quests, on these different little paths and ideas that bring you a little bit more realization, a little bit more creation. Since my device is over here, maybe from the sun. Let me see if I can put something behind it. That. Let it over here. I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll see. A little makeshift protection. So, then when you say, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I can't have this, I don't deserve this, I'm not ready, I don't know what to do, I don't want to do anything, a lot of these phrases, they come from, first of all, they're level 1, and second of all, they are coming from lack of energy, lack of belief, lack of desire, lack of motivation.